Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. So let's consider that households and family units are like vending machines. Each member of the home is a snack in a vending machine. Members of the family play two roles. They offer their snack to others, and they replenish the snacks they see being depleted. Now, when a new snack is being added to the vending machine, it's imperative to be sure that this snack can fulfill the requirements. 1, offer your snack. 2, replenish depleted snacks. So for this specific vending machine, the family member that acts as the manager of the vending machine has recognized a negative trend. Certain snacks are depleted without being replenished, and other snacks are not offering themselves. They're getting jammed, caught, and stuck, or literally taking money and not even moving during the transaction process. So a balance must be found and a balance must be restored. So to correct the trend, the owner must cover the full expense of restocking snacks and repairing jams and malfunctions. When researching the starting point of the negative trend, the owner discovered that one of the snacks in the vending machine had difficulty receiving replenishment. In the past, this snack gave and gave endlessly, but suffered from others not replacing what they took. And so in order to combat this issue, they decided to offer no more than 3 snacks. Offering only 3 snacks guaranteed that in the event they were not replenished, they could afford to cover the cost with their reserves. Now, the problem later came when the other snacks decided to withhold themselves and bypass this snack entirely because it offered such a low quantity that most times it ended up being depleted, right? And so although this snack had plenty reserves, it feared letting them go into circulation because guess what? It may not be restocked. And so let's say that a fully stocked snack comes in the amount of 10, okay? That's 10 exchanges of giving and receiving that you are master over in order to keep the vending machine balanced and functioning. So to offer only 3 of yourself means that you miss out on 7 exchanges of giving and receiving with another. So trusting that you will be fulfilled, complete, and made whole after offering all of your snacks requires a foundation that is deeply rooted. Which tree has a better chance of withstanding an external force? A tree that is planted 3 feet beneath the soil, or a tree that is planted 10 feet beneath the soil? So if a tree has grown roots 3 feet beneath the soil, and if another tree has grown roots 10 feet beneath the soil, which tree has the ability to withstand force, pressure, wind, extreme weather, predators, people using them as habitats, right? The tree rooted 3 feet or the tree rooted 10 feet. Let's begin the reading. Alrighty. All right, so the reading begins with the understanding that your assignment was to return to Earth in order to become a part of the system so that you could change the system. So, keeping with vending machines, if Earth is a vending machine, specifically I want us to look at love on Earth, right? So some of us have come back to be a part of the vending machine on earth called love. This is like the worst vending machine ever. You put your money in, you don't get a snack, or the snack you want is never available, or it says that there is a snack there, but it's another snack in its spot. Things are depleted, chips are stuck, right? And so the giving and the receiving of love is not balanced on this planet called Earth. And so some of us have specifically returned here to jump into the broken vending machine, figure out the system, look at all the parts and pieces that aren't working properly, and then begin to repair it. We restock, we replenish, we give freely, we give unconditionally, we trust and we have faith that when we give without holding or saving, that it will be returned. That is the system we have come to create, but that is not the system that currently exists. And so we have somebody that is a part of the system to change it, but they're not quite sure that this is them, okay? And so we have the energies of strategizing and the 10 of Pentacles. When we're strategizing, we're planning, we're predicting, right? We're trying to foresee what could happen. We're trying to read the mind of life, right? We're like, okay, if life unfolds this way, right? But when this person is thinking about the mind of life, they're thinking about their own family, their own stability, and their financial foundation. This person wants a firm and consistent and comfortable foundation for their family. And so they're thinking about their life. Now, they've got this attitude of feeling conflict and defeat. So the perspective that they're carrying is kind of like, woe is me, right? They've got a victimhood mentality, okay? And so in order to prepare to stabilize your life and your finances, this person is recognizing that this system is effed up. And I don't really want to be a part of it in the way that I was before, right? And so if you were a vending machine and if you were participating in love with other vending machines, you know, you could have just as been broken and unstocked and jammed up and taken money as the others, because this is the system. But there is a period of time where you must be a broken vending machine, because that is the system. You cannot change something that you are not willing to become a part of and fall into, right? So there's got to be an organic link to you and to whatever it is you are attempting to change. And so a person wants to build their family. They're trying to think about life. They're like, now in the past, I always failed, right? I was always the one running away crying. Every time I tried to participate in the vending machines of love life, right? I opened my machine up to the machine of another. Every time that happened, right? I had to surrender and walk away. They were taking my snacks and they weren't replenishing or restocking me. Or if one of my snacks was broken, or if I was going through obstacles and challenges, and if I couldn't consistently vend, they didn't even tell anybody that the service number needed to be contacted. My green light came on and said I needed a repair. They didn't even stay long enough to make sure I got the help and the assistance I need. Right? This is the attitude of the person that's thinking about how they've experienced love on earth, right? And so in order to change a system, you first have to change your mind. If you think that you are under the system, if you think that you are a victim of the system called love life on earth, well, then it's always going to be the Goliath. And so no matter how big or how giant this system is, or how small it has made you feel, to change something that is broken, you must change the way you look at things. You've got to see it in a brand new light. And so when you walk up to a vending machine that is unappealing, you don't want to put your money in it. You don't want to make the exchange, right? When you stand in front of something like that, most people have a tendency to walk away and go find another one, right? But love on earth requires that you stand in front of the vending machine. You figure out all the things that are wrong, all of the things that are depleted and not restocked, right? You think about the things that could be old or expired or neglected and untouched, right? And so those of us that have experienced a certain type of love, right? Those of us that are willing to put in the work and to stay in front of the vending machines that really ain't vending like they should. It takes a different kind of soul to do that. And the soul that is really contemplating their life is that soul who's like, I got to fix this thing, right? But if I'm going to fix it, I can't be the problem. I cannot be the problem. Now, this person has been a problem when they have engaged in the vending machines of love. Why? Because they've carried painful experiences, right? And so they're overly cautious. And so in order to truly vend and experience love as it should be, in order to repair the system, in order to fix these vending machines, you gotta open your heart, aka your hand. So here's the thing. Hold on, I almost lost something. So we talked about, we talked about a full vending machine being 10 deep, having 10 snacks, or one snack being 10. And so listen, this is a person who really wants a 10 snack experience. They want the full thing, right? And so in the past, they kept offering 10 snacks, 10 snacks, 10 snacks. But here's the thing, you got to remember, one of your snacks may not be enough to cover the cost of another's, right? And so if you want to eat my Doritos, just one bag, I may require 3 of your Lays. Not every exchange that you are making with other vending machines is equal, right? Now, when we're talking about you making decisions ethically, we're talking about decisions that are fair, honest, and truthful. When you're standing in front of a vending machine, you really need to assess what you're looking at, but you also need to assess yourself, right? If I take one of your chips, how many of my chips you gonna take, right? And if I take yours, of course you're gonna take mine. But are you gonna stay long enough to help me restock? Are you gonna stay long enough to help me repair and fix my machine, right? And so some people, when they're choosing snacks, when they're engaging in love, their decisions aren't ethical. They're not fair, and they're not telling the truth. They really just wanted the snacks you had, but they didn't want to have to stay while you restock. They wanted to go off to the next one. Some people didn't tell you that they will take 3 of yours if you take 1 of theirs, right? And so this isn't balanced. Those are those relationships that are codependent, where you're self-deprecating. You're giving so much and nothing is being returned. Every time you put your money in to get a bag of chips out, the bag don't even move, right? Sometimes it tricks you. Sometimes it looks like it's gonna move and fall down, and it gets stuck at the last minute. Right? And so at some point, this person is like, I am tired of feeling like a victim to these type of vending machines. And so I'm going to change my perspective. That's the only thing that can create a change. In order to get over the machine, in order to stand above it, in order to fix it, to repair it, you've got to recognize that you have the ability to do so. You have to be able to make decisions. When we're talking about choices, when somebody says, I chose this, that means every decision that you have made has brought you to this outcome. So if you keep landing in an outcome called victimhood, right, where your vending machine is getting ransacked, then what are the decisions you're making? Because that outcome is a collection of small transactions. Right? You didn't get rid of all of your inventory and your snacks on one day, but the way you decided to get rid of them and to give and to receive over a period of time has left you in this state. And if you don't like this state, well then let's change how we vend. right? And so at some point, this person is tired, they're weak, they're frail, right? But love is important. Whether they know consciously, they came here to repair the vending machines of love, okay? Now, this is a long process. You can't cut corners. You need a methodical approach, okay? And so this is the energy of really committing to the process. Listen, to restock a vending machine, you're going to have to stand there for a while. You got to take all that money out. You got to check the expiration dates. You got to put the new chip. Like, let's consider that is a real relationship. This is a long-term giving and receiving type of exchange. This is not as exciting as walking up to a vending machine, taking what you want and walking away. Of course, it's fun to go from machine to machine, getting only the snacks that you want, never really worrying or considering about, do I need to stay and put back what I took? Like, that's not exciting. You know, sometimes we do follow impulse. We're not fair. We are selfish. And though this is a person that may realize that I am in a weakened state because I have been selfish, because when I was standing in front of machines, I was receiving, but I wasn't giving, or I was taking and I wasn't considering what I had to give in order to receive what it is that I wanted most. Okay. And so when you are operating, because that is what this person was doing, they were operating out of their shadow self. Why? Because for a period of time, they were only willing to give 3. They were only willing to give 3 because they were fearful that if they gave more, they would lack more. They would lack more because in the past, when they gave more, nobody replenished them. And so now the way I give of myself, I'm going to make sure that I'm never down bad. I'm going to make sure that I'm not the one to lose. And so I'm only going to offer 3. But the reality is that, I came here to change this thing. My soul is screaming at me to pursue love, but I don't want to put it any more than 3 bags. But my soul is a 10 bag type soul, right? And so this is a conversation with self. I keep attracting 3 bag, short-term, shallow relationships or partners that can't withstand a gust of wind. The tree falls over. My soul is deeply rooted in love. It has come here to grow roots in love in a whole new way, right? I'm about to opening up a vending machine that nobody has seen before. And everybody's going to want to come back to this vending machine because I have a system. I have a system of restocking. I have a system of replenishing and fixing repairs. And right, you have a system to how you will engage with your vending, your giving and receiving. And so sometimes in order to, you cannot receive without your palm open. And so if you want 10 bags, you got to give 10 bags. If you're going to receive 10, you have to be able to hold 10. Right? But if you have a fist because you don't want to let go of those 7, right? I need these 7. Right? These motherfuckers ain't going to give me back nothing once I give them 3. So I'm keeping my 7. F that. But I'll mess with you. We'll talk. We'll kick it. I can, right? But this, like, why waste your time? Why waste your time? That is the problem with the system. Everybody is trying to make sure that they come out on top. But that is love. That is transactional, not unconditional. That is why the systems and the vending machines are broken. The households and the people. I mean, our household is a vending machine where every person is a snack. Some snacks don't want to participate. They don't want to show up. They want to take other snacks, but they don't want to replenish, right? And so a house is a vending machine, but that you individually are a machine, right? And then collectively, we look like a huge machine. And so this is somebody who's having a conversation with self, and they're learning that they need to make ethical decisions in order to get a different outcome. No longer can you make decisions out of your shadow, right? And so we're talking about business partners, love affairs, communication with coworkers, any type of connection. any type of connection contributes to the vending machine called love life on earth. Okay. And so if you want a 10 snack experience, you have to face your fear. You have to realize that if I give 10, I may only get back 2. And I have to be willing to stay in the game, to not close down, or to not, to not change up how I offer myself because of this one experience. This system is broken, but I came here to change it. But I had to become it first, right? And everything changes. And so when you are willing to face your fears, and instead of offering 3 snacks, you're like, fine, I'll offer 4. You wash away a little bit of stagnant energy. You're like, all right, cool, I'll offer 4. I could do that. Now I'm about to offer 5, right? And so this is a process. Sometimes we jump into love. It destroys us, and then we jump out. And so in order to jump back in, you have to safely condition yourself to look at you, but then to look at the way in which you are exchanging. What will I tolerate? What will I not tolerate? How did I get here? Were my decisions made out of my shadow, out of my fears? Because I really just wanted to protect myself, right? But love is a risk. And so those that have come back to change love on earth recognize that love is a risk. Listen, anybody that only gives 3 bags is a smart person. That's a person that's really sent here to love. But it has wounded them that they've calculated, I want to play the game, but I got to play the game in a way that doesn't always make me the loser. Like, I want to win sometimes. And so we look at people who hold back as not being shit. But sometimes they want it so bad, but they're so afraid of the risk that they've decided, I will just play a shallow game. I'm only playing a 3-bag game, right? Which is only going to perpetuate the same belief system, because 3 bags, you can't, listen, the relationship that you grow where your roots are only 3 feet deep can't withstand. That is a short-term relationship. Those are those quick ones. They can't last. Now, I have the Adinkra symbol in this reading called leg of hen, and it talks about nurturing and discipline. Let's just think about a hen. If we were to think of a relationship like a chicken coop, you got to clean the coop because, listen, it gets messy emotionally. Homes get messy. Life is messy. So you got to be able to clean the coop. You have to be able to offer provisions. Are you going to be able to feed your hens, right? And then you got to monitor their behavior, because sometimes there can be aggression that you need to tame, right? And so this is a consistent job, but you have to make an ethical decision one by one by one, that is truthful, fair, and honest in order to change the system, right? And so we have somebody that is literally ready. They're at the moment before creation, right? This is like, okay, I see the potential. I know that I can have a 10-bag experience. Y'all, this is somebody that has possibly crossed paths with an external love, aka a soulmate, right? And so if you have come back to change love on earth, many times you will have a specific partner that is supposed to engage, right? And so you guys are acting out a love story. And so for a period of time, your vending machine could have been broken. And then you fall apart, and maybe you try other vending machines and that shit don't go nowhere, right? And then you start to repair yourself. You start to replenish yourself, right? And then maybe you start to attract and get pulled to one another, because you are becoming 3 bags, 4 bags, 5 bags, 6 bags. And by the time you get to 10, somewhere your soulmate has also gotten to 10. And so now you start to pull, connect, draw to each other energetically. And so it's almost like you're locked out of that experience until you can get to the point where you can faithfully, truly, and consistently offer 10 bags without fear of being depleted, not being restocked, right? And so this is a person that kept making fear-based relationships in love. And how did this impact them? Well, think about that chicken coop, right? You got to clean the coop, feed the chickens, monitor behavior, tame aggression. This is a job. This takes time. This takes money. It takes nurturing. It takes discipline. It takes nurturing. It takes discipline. The vending machines that seem to be the ones that are well stocked and they always give you what you need when you want it, those are the ones that demonstrate a balanced giving and receiving, right? Individually, each snack is doing its role, which collectively makes this a badass vending machine. You always gonna get what you want. You're gonna put your money in and you're always going to get the snack you want. You're never gonna have to shake it and beat it and kick it. Or go ask somebody if they got extra. You know what I mean? Like, you're never going to have to. Some vending machines are so broke or they are just so not functioning correctly. They got a sign on them that just tell you straight up, use at your own risk. Don't fuck with it. Like, right? And so there were two vending machines that are supposed to come together to demonstrate a new way to love on earth. And it seems like one of the vending machines is recognizing that they need to repair themselves. They need to be a 10-bag snack experience. And in order to have 10 bags, they've got to go through a period. It's almost like they've been locked out of it because they've been operating in their shadow. Right? And so I've got this soulmate. We've been together for eternity. We've come back to earth because our assignment is to become a part of this system called love so that we can change this system called love. We've always been together, right? But because of the energies, because of my shadow, because of my fears, my emotions fluctuate. This is like you're a vending machine that has already gone through the process and you know your soulmate is that other vending machine. It's like, but they can't get their inventory right. They're giving, they're receiving. Sometimes, these people play tricks. They'll put foreign money inside of you and want you to still give them something. And you're like, yeah, but you're lying. You're dishonest. You're not being transparent. I take nickels, dimes, and quarters, and you up here giving me francs and pesos, right? Some people want to trick you out of your snacks and give you nothing in return. So this could have been a partner, a soulmate, somebody that you knew you were supposed to vend with. And you knew that when you vended with this person, it could be effortless. Your soul told you that something was different when you vend with them. Even if they couldn't vend correctly, something about the exchange revealed that this was a soulmate. Now, this could be you or this could be them recognizing something in you. But this is somebody that is ready to take a leap of faith. They're ready to vend different. They're about to go from 3 bags to 10 bags. It may take 7 months. To add another bag, it may take them a month to kind of build up the strength and the courage to take that risk. But they are committed, or they are considering binding themselves, making this a contract. Can I jump in to the potential of love? Right? I wanted it before, but I really didn't jump into it because truth be told, I only had 3 bags. Not gonna lie, I had 3 bags, right? And so I kept getting these short-term, shallow exchanges where people would come, they would deplete my inventory, and then guess what? My money is funny. I'm going through financial and material changes because I was giving them bags and they didn't tell me that every time I gave them 1, they took 5. They were overtaking. I was overgiving. I didn't understand the parameters because my decisions weren't honest and truthful and fair. I wasn't telling myself that I was afraid, but I was still engaging in it. And so then my money starts to reveal to me that something's off because when they walk away from my vending machine, now I got to restock all this shit by myself. I got to fix the repairs. I got to take out the fake money and nobody's standing here with me. So I keep losing materials. I keep losing my finances. But the reason why this person went through this is to learn. At some point, the goal is to simply ask yourself, what did I learn? Right? And those financial changes are short term. Those are just quick lessons, but they can be quick if you learn quick. right? It's to let you know, hey, there's something more fulfilling. You don't want to have to keep restocking because now you can't even vend. Now you can't even show off your snacks. Nobody can use you. Now you got a sign on your glass that says broken, don't use, right? Because you broke. You gave too much. You didn't vet the other vending machine well enough, right? Though you were 3 bags, guess what? They were 2 bags. They were 1 bags. But if you really want to get in this game, you got to change something. And so sometimes, it's really not about you. It's almost like you can see the soul of another battling, right? They've got hidden anger and they've got pain. And it's really because they went through a battle that was so severe and they experienced a loss that was so severe that it literally has created a painful block. And they've got so much old energy that even if they wanted to offer 10, they couldn't. Right? So, this is a reading definitely about love. This is about soulmates. This is about a specific person recognizing that they have not been able to experience a soulmate experience because they themselves have not gone through a mass awakening. They have not looked at themselves, right? Do you have a fist or a palm when you're talking to the Most High, when you're talking to the universe and you're asking and you're seeking and you're wanting? Is your palm truly open to receive? Or do you have a fist because you want to reserve something in the event that you don't get what you're asking for, right? And so some of us have a palm mouth. We're talking like we can receive, but we have a fist heart. Our heart is closed. It's not open. It's really afraid to be depleted, to not be restocked, to not be alerted when it's broken, its chips are stuck, it needs to be repaired. And that turns your heart into a fist. You're like, I'm not vending. I'm not giving you nothing. And listen, that's rational. That's logical because you still got to get through life. And so you have to calculate the risk that you're willing to take. And love can fuck up everything. Your health, your money, you could be losing your hair, your weight, your body could change, the relationships, like it has the ability to mess everything around it up, which will constantly leave you in this state of being essentially broke because you are trying to pour in energy into a pit. You haven't checked to make sure that the same boundaries and parameters that you have structured for you, this person in this vending machine is moving the same way. Are you taking from me the way that I'm taking from you? Are you replenishing? Are you giving to me in the way that I'm giving to you? Right? But if you're carrying around a whole lot of pain and you're only willing to grow roots 3 feet deep, well, then the pain will continue. So this is somebody who's willing to jump into a new experience. They want to experience victory and success. Now, it is theirs, but it comes after a period of difficulty, right? And so the idea is to stay grounded, to be mindful of your ego. The victory is yours, and yes, for a period of time, it was locked away or you couldn't experience, and that's because you had to master communal living. Communal living is when responsibilities are filled for the group and not for individual gain. That is the goal of why we came back to Earth. Those that are in soulmate relationships, kindred spirits, twin flames, those of us that literally came back, the assignment said, return to Earth, become a part of the love system in order to change it. All right, thank you, class dismissed. Like literally, that's the assignment. And so there are levels to you being this vending machine, repairing it, and then safely and comfortably offering yourself to another. And it's really about communal living. None of us are here alone. Am I willing to fulfill responsibilities for the group? So now you're building your household, right? And every person is a snack. And you need to make sure that the household that you're building, everybody is a palm. Everybody's got a palm mouth and a palm heart, right? If anybody is a fist, it messes up the flow. It creates blockages. It creates resentment and anger. And so over time, the way you vend determines the value of your vending machine, whether or not people are going to want to populate it. And sometimes the value of your vending machine is so high that people that really don't have the ability to make the exchange with you are going to put in fake money and want you to give them a snack back. But here comes discernment, right? Do you have a repairman on call to be able to kick out that fake money, that fake energy that wanted to trick you out of your treats or your snacks? All right, y'all. So this is about vending machines. It's about fists and palms, but it's really about love. The broken system of love, how it looks in our lives individually and then collectively. How when we each play out love, we are really fixing a massive vending machine that has been broken. And so this transformation, when we came back here, this transformation, it leads to a mass awakening. But the mass awakening requires us individually to demonstrate the awakening in our own life, right? And so we're a whole bunch of little vending machines. And when we repair our ability to give and receive, to fulfill communal responsibilities and not selfish or personal responsibilities, we change the game of love. That's what this is. It's about communal living. I love y'all so much. Happy Monday. I'll talk to you in the comments. Have a beautiful day. Take care.